Thanks, Mike. Well, they gave me the blessing of the day. I get to talk to one of my former coaches, Tammy Reese. 7 years at Rhode Island. I feel like time has flown by. Has it flown by for you, though?
It really has. I blink, and I remember coaching you at Syracuse. So this 6 seasons have been a blessing, but it's a blur. It really is. And the older you get, you'll learn this, sweetie. The older you get, the quicker it goes. And so this year, my focus is to really enjoy it, really take it in, enjoy every step of the way, and enjoy the process, enjoy my team, enjoy my kids. So, just straight fun and joy is the focus this season.
The way I remember you, straight fun and focus. Coach, let's talk about who you brought back to the fold this season. A couple of point guards that have been consistent for you that you returned this year.
I think a key if you're going to be successful and vying for a championship in the league and be in the top half is, really retaining pieces. And in this day and age with the NIL, it's harder, but two of the key pieces we retained are leadership and really experience in our point guard position. And so I'm expecting really big things from Big Soph and Inez. And so key, we had to retain him, and we did. Also, to add to that, I think a sleeping giant. We had this with Maya Torre years ago. She sat for 2 years behind and really developed, and then she had a breakout season her junior year. Palmyre Mabu is going to be a problem this year. And so we're really we retained her, really looking for a huge season from Palmer.
Yeah. Coach, you're a two-time coach in this league, coach of the year. One of the reasons because of the roster that you continue to bring in year after year. 3 key transfers from players in the league, from VCU, from SLU, from George Mason. What went into getting some of these key transfers?
We looked back and we went to the drawing board after last season and said, listen, when we were most successful, what did we do and how did we do it? And we had 3 transfers from in-league, Emma Squires, Tena Magassa, and Madden Covington. And they transfer in, we win, we co-champs that year. And so we love experience and leadership. And players that know the league and can do it in the league. I know exactly what I'm getting, and my God, I had to go against these 3. The first one, BG from St. Louis.
Brooklyn Gray.
Brooklyn Gray is just a menace. She's like the LeBron James for us because she can play 1 through 5, and her versatility is key. And really a great connector. She can do it all. Yeah. And so that was the first piece we signed, and it was huge. And then the second piece, we needed some real outside shooting, some scoring, someone that can shoot over 40% and stretch the floor because we're implementing a new offense. And we get Valohita from VCU. Yeah. Again, huge offensive threat. And then the last piece, some championship experience, someone who's tasted it, someone who's been around it. We bring in Taviana Habib from George Mason, great three-point shooter, great offensive rebounder, because we needed some rebounding to go with what we lost in El Dutat. Yeah. And so I call them my big 3. We were very blessed. And again, all in conference and expecting big things from all 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you, Ice. Best of luck to you, and so proud of you. And go Rhody!
Back to you, Mike and Christy.
Hey, thanks so much, Ice. Tammy's awesome. How great is she, right? Now, what about your connections with her over the years?
I had a little connection with Tammy Reese. She played at UVA when I was at Maryland, and we were in the ACC at that time, and we had some battles, okay? And she was alongside Dawn Staley. So they were pretty much on ice skates going all over the place around us. They were a couple years younger, so they did a great job against us, but we won. So
incredible career, though, that she's had. Amazing, right? A professional, gold medal winner. You talk about what she's done at Rhode Island now. So it's about 3 years ago, if you will, the 2023 season, Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year. They had 26 wins, season program best.
Right.
What a great leader for that group.
Yeah, no question about it. But it's her humor also, right? LeBron James for Gray, the nickname, is so perfect. So she just brings great energy. I mean, she was like that as a player, clearly as a coach. She was at Syracuse as well, as you heard, Coach Ice there. So just to see her in her 7th season now at Rhode Island, I mean, I'm excited for the players who get that tutelage from a player with that acumen.
All right, let's hear more from Tammy Reese. She's at the podium now in the press conference here in Pittsburgh.
First of all, it's a pleasure to be here, the 50th anniversary of the A10. So happy about the celebration and really excited for the season. Excited about my team, excited about the core we were able to retain, and the big pieces we've added, 3 in-conference transfers and 4 true freshmen. So we've assembled a team, I think, to address our deficiencies from the previous season, which the biggest one is we had to put the ball in the hole, and we struggled to do it. So we went out and we found some players that could really dribble, pass, and shoot at a very high level. So as a coach, I feel that we did the work as a staff and myself in the offseason to really acquire the talent needed to contend for an A10 championship.
Questions? Just raise your hands. We'll get you the mic. Zach in front.
Hey, Tammy. Obviously, it was Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. Obviously, you had a full summer this summer to be with your team. How important was intentionality towards building this summer to try to make everything work?
Good to see you, Zach. Really, it was the first time in 3 years I've been able to be home for the summer. I'm usually with USA Basketball all summer, away from the team, away from recruiting. So right after last season, we hit the transfer portal running, and to be able to be all in, 100% URI and nothing else, it made the world a difference. And so, again, not only in the portal, but all summer long. We had 2 summer sessions with all the newcomers that stayed and really got to build relationships and spend time with them. So, this offseason has been key in the acquisition of talent and then in the ability to train it and really build those relationships that I know are going to pay dividends when we hit November and December.
Brooklyn, congrats on staying in the A10. Just what's it been like being one of these 3 new pieces, being one of 3 that's experiencing being a Rhode Ram for the first time, and what have you liked about your experience so far?
I've really enjoyed so far how welcoming everyone has been throughout my entire process. Me and Tammy have always had like a slight relationship, non-spoken, but we've always had a really nice relationship with each other. And coming here, it was just everything that I expected and more. Everyone here is so willing to learn and so hardworking, and it's been a joy being with these women every single day and just getting better and improving. And I'm excited for the season.
Tammy, I have to ask you about Palmyra, a piece that obviously when you're looking at posts, you're trying to find growth and find what works. Just how has someone like Palmyra really stepped up to potentially answer a challenge like that?
Really excited for Palmyra this season because last season she was coming off not playing for a year and a half. She was, had a really bad ankle injury. And so last year was kind of her freshman season. And I contributed her a lot like Maya Torre, who 2 years sat behind our Player of the Year, Manu Tahan, and then suddenly her junior season, everyone was like, who is this player? And that's going to be Palmyra this year. She's the one. She's the next in line to take the torch from Manu and Maya. And so she's an integral part. She's very big. I think she's grown. She's about 6'3" now. Again, she can play anywhere on the perimeter and in the post and in the pinch. And so her versatility is key. But we're expecting in Rhode Land big things from Palmer.
Brooklyn, obviously you have a lot of accomplishments that you're able to accomplish. What have you been able to find your next on that court and just seeing the green light with the ball, the basket, and how you've been able to grow?
Can you repeat the question?
Just since you've been in Rhode Land, how you've grown and what steps you've taken from your game to take that next.
Well, for starters, nutrition. Finding ways to eat better, finding ways to, outside of specifically basketball, finding ways to improve and to become better physically, better mentally, And I feel we have a lot of resources here at URI that have helped me with that. I'm really excited going into the season because I have a support system around me and a head of coaches that really believe in me and believe in this team. I think we could do a lot of great things this year. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I saw it was second team. I really appreciate it, but we trying to aim a little higher than that. But with the support system and the staff that I have around me, I have no doubt that I can accomplish whatever I want and that we can accomplish whatever we need.
Matt Moderno from Mid-Major Madness. For both of you, just like to get your perspective. For the transfer portal, there's so little time to figure out where you want to go. Is that in-conference transfer just nice from a familiarity standpoint? We know how we play. We have some experience with the style and things like that.
You know, for us, at the end of last season, the last time we won a championship in 22-23, we had 3 in-conference transfers. We love them as a coaching staff because we know what they can do in league. They're very experienced in league, and all 3 of them were grad transfers. We did the same thing and recreated it this year. We went out and we got 3 grad transfers within league. All 3 at some point in time have torched us at Rhode. I've respected all 3's games. I love their leadership. And, you know, offensively, they gave us everything we were looking for. Funny story. You know, Brooklyn talked about our unspoken relationship, but, you know, I don't try to recruit other teams' players. But, you know, sometimes, you know, a player gives it to you so badly during the year that you go through the handshake line. You're just like, God dang, you can hoop. And this was one right here. I've always respected her game. I loved her game. I loved her fire, energy. She's my type of player from afar, and that just was the respect I showed her. So when she jumped in that transfer portal, you better believe that was my first call was to get her AAU coach, her mama, her auntie, whatever it took, because her first words to me were, Coach, I'm not transferring in the A10. And my first words to her were, just give us a chance.
I think it's so funny she tells that story because, like she said in the handshake line, I remember when we lost to them, and I believe it was the semifinals of my sophomore year, I gave her a hug and I was like, go win it, Coach. So it's just that relationship that we just always had has been wonderful. And, in terms of transferring, you know, everything has been just wonderful. In terms of, like, conference, you kind of already have an understanding of how everything goes. So, yeah, it's funny that she brings up how I wasn't going to stay because I really wasn't. I just had no, you know, I just really wasn't going to stay. But she was the first. Literally, she hit me, I want to say like 5 in the morning. She was the first coach that hit me, and I was like, man, like we've always had a relationship, so I just got to talk to her. And she ended up being everything that I thought she was and more. Like Tammy is such a wonderful person, even more than a coach. She's such a wonderful person, and just the program that she has around and the people she brings around herself is just amazing. So I knew once I came on my visit, I knew what it was.
Mel Greenberg. So, Tommy, with your long ties to the international market when you've recruited, and unlike when you were in the backcourt with Dawn, there was no higher place to play, but they all want to come over here. The goal is the WNBA. When you're recruiting here, do you find that interest? Is that whole desire helpful when you're recruiting players abroad?
Well, you know, I'm going to give all my credit to my associate head coach, Agni Amadou. He's from Paris, France. And when we left Syracuse together, Agni had that market on lockdown. And so we got unbelievable players to come to Syracuse. And then when he came with me to Rhode Island, we have a pipeline. We develop, we're process-oriented. And so we take, you know, they trust us now, whether it's the pro coaches, their agents, whoever it is, and they know we develop them and we give them back exactly how they want them. And so, you know, the interest now, it's grown so much tremendously because all Europeans now want to come with the way the NIL is in college and also to play in the WNBA at the highest level. So, you know, the market's opened up. We don't have as big a niche, I should say, as we used to, but you know, for me, I love it because I'll say this about the international young women. They all want to be pros in everything they do. And they're coached and they play pro at a very young age. and they're process driven, meaning they're skilled at a very young age. They don't just play game after game after game like AAU. They actually practice the skills needed to become a better player and play less games and more skill work. So, I love the international market, especially bigs. It's hard to contend here in the women's game in America. Everyone needs bigs. And the money now, the price is driven out of the roof for even an average big. And so to go to Europe and get bigs that, you don't really have to recruit for has been a blessing for us. And I give, again, all that credit to Coach Amadou.
Additional questions? All good? All right, Coach, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Zach, you get best dressed. Love the shirt. Thank you. Go Rhode.
Go Rhode.
You guys, Zach's got some great stuff on today. We're going to get a shot of it at some
we need
point.
that. I don't know what that is.
Well, how cool is that? From what Tammy was saying, she's on it, right? It's like, not only do you have to not spend out of control, you get these players who come in with the mindset of, I got to work on my skills, I got to get better, and they're coachable, and that's what she's going to do, and she's going to make them the best player possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And she also said that she got experienced players out of the portal, right? And we were talking about that earlier, just about how different that dynamic is. And then the in-conference, because she's already seen them and obviously scouted against them and know what they can do skill set-wise and how they make reads and decisions. So, I don't know if I could do it, like either way, as a coach or a player, but it's a new day, I guess. And that's a strategy in recruiting that we're going to see more and more of, I guess.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that, how tough it is to, feel like you're going to go to the enemy, if you will. You know what I mean? You were discussing some stuff back in the day, forward teams, players.
Never do it, yeah.
That's interesting. And you heard Brooklyn, though, she wasn't going to do it either.
Yeah.
But it's the relationship, right? That's how important it is on having these relationships, whether you get the player the first time or not, because it all comes back around.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you have to be around great people. And I think that's what you heard from Gray also, right? She said Tammy is a great person. She's a great coach, but she's a better person. And I think that's what you want for your kids as a parent. So you want to have your kids around people who are, at the forefront, great people character-wise.
Okay.